What's up guys, Derek here with Tap and Turn Gaming coming at you today with an EDH deck tech. Today's deck tech is another subscriber requested installment of our series for battling with a budget. And this is suggested to us by Tyler Hosey Worrell. And he asked if he could see a Heliod, Heliod budgetized deck with a life gain theme. He did give us the budget of $50 as we usually go with, but he also gave us a few cards that he already had that are sort of expensive that we could just add into the deck more or less for free value. So that was pretty cool. One of which was the where is it here? The Archangel of Thune. Archangel of Thune was a card he already had, which comes in at $15.67. So we actually got to add an extra $15.67 to the deck. So the overall deck ends up costing $85.26. Now that is with the cards he already had added in. So the deck actually ends up coming in at $49.80 after all the cards that he gave us taken out. So if you wanted to, as just a viewer, if you wanted to buy this deck, you'd be buying it for $85.53. But Tyler, with the cards you already had, you could buy the rest of the deck for the $47-ish that you were looking for, or $48. You know, under $50, more or less what you're looking for. But now let's just take a minute. We'll go over the deck and we'll see what we came up with. So the general is Helion God of the Sun. He's one of the new gods, legendary enchantment creature. He's a 4-cost 5/6 with indestructible, and he is not a creature unless you have a devotion to white equal to 5 or more. So you have to have at least 5 white mana symbols on the board for mana costs, and Heliod himself has 1, so you need 4 others. So it's a pretty easy goal to meet. He also gives your creatures a static vigilance, and for 4 mana you can put into play a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature. So he's pretty cool. I really like him a lot. So we'll go over the deck. For lands, we basically ran 37 plains and a Emaria the Sky Ruin. That was really it. Pretty basic land base here, nothing really to it. The Emaria was really just a cooler land to run, and the resurrection that it comes with is nice. So as far as artifacts, we're running Ashnod's Altar, Conjurer's Closet, Exposition Map to be able to find our Emaria, Lifeline, Marble Chalice, Nim Deathmantle, Prism Ring, Spear of Heliod, Trading Post, and Well of Lost Dreams. For sorceries, Day of Judgment, End Hostilities, Paraceline, Reverse the Sands, Rout, and Survival Cache. For instance, we're running Alabaster Potion, Comeuppance, Condemn, Congregate, Crib Swap, Devouring Light, Harm's Way, Righteousness, and Shining Shoal. For enchantments, we're running Angelic Accord, Angelic Chorus, Cathar's Crusade, Cradle of Vitality, Journey to Nowhere, Luminarch Ascension, Martyr's Bond, Mobilization, Noble Purpose, Oblivion Ring, Orum's Prayer, Righteous Cause, Spirit Link, Test of Endurance, and Words of Worship. Now for creatures, we're running Eniok Bondkind, Ajani's Pridemate, Angelic Skirmisher, Archangel of Thune, Archetype of Courage, Archon of Justice, Evangel of Heliod, Fiend Hunter, Kami of the False Hope, Karmic Guide, Mentor of the Meek, Machias the Lunarch, Mother of Runes, Audric's Master Tactician, Rock's Faithmender, Serra Angel, Soul Warden, Sun Titan, Vengeful Archon, Wall of Essence, and Wall of Reverence. So we do have a lot of life gain going on. That was really one of the themes he wanted. There are a couple of cool interactions and or combos. The most notable one is probably Words of Worship and Well of Lost Dreams. Now these two cards combo very well with each other. So Words of Worship says you can pay 1 mana. The next time you draw a card, instead you gain 5 life. That's awesome. So you can sacrifice a draw for 1 mana to gain 5 life. And then Well of Lost Dreams says whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life gained if you do draw X cards. So the reason these work really well together is, let's say it's the beginning of your upkeep. So what you do is you pay 1 mana, you don't draw a card, you draw 5 life instead. Then what you do with the Well of Lost Dreams is, since you just gained 5 life, is you pay, say, 1, and instead you draw 1 card and gain 4 life. So for 2 mana, you're gaining You're still drawing a card and gaining 4 life. But you can really play this as much as you want. Like, you really can. So you could Word of Worship your drawer away for the 5 life, then invest 5 more mana into Well of Lost Dreams to not gain that 5 life to draw 5 cards. Or then you could invest 5 more mana off those 5 cards to not draw those 5 cards and gain 25 life. So it stacks very well, and it really can gain you a lot of life very quickly later in the game. And it's really, really cool. And it's a really nice win condition if you add in something like Test of Endurance where you win the game for having 50 or more life. It will not be very hard to get to that. You know, you could play Words of Worship turn 3, play Well of Lost Dreams turn 4, turn 5 play Test of Endurance, and then turn 6 you could just gain a whole bunch of life. And then you could win at that point, really. Then we also have Wall of Reverence. At the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature you control. And then we also have Cradle of Vitality, where whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 and a white, and if you do, you put +1/+1 counters on target creature equal to the amount of life you gain. So if you have Wall of Reverence out and say something like a Vengeful Archon, at the end of your turn, you can say, oh, I'll gain 7 life. And then what you do is with the Cradle of Vitality, you pay 2 mana, and that's 7 life gained. You still gain a life, but it also becomes 7 +1/+1 counters on target creature. So you can use that and just start stacking a bunch of tokens onto Heliod since he's indestructible, and you know, you could very quickly make him become a lethal commander. Then you also have combos like using Ashnod's Altar and Nim Deathmantle with Karmic Guide to be able to get unlimited reses for some of your comes into play abilities. For something like, what do we have? Soul Warden, you could gain infinite life. Sun Titan, you can get infinite reses of 3 or less. With Archon of Justice, you can exile infinite permanence, because what you do is you have Ashnod's Altar down so you can sacrifice a creature for 2 mana. You have Nim Deathmantle down where you can pay 4 to resurrect a creature that just died. So then what you'll do is you'll have like Soul Warden down. You'll sacrifice Soul Warden to Ashnod's Altar for 2 mana. And you have your Karmic Guide down. You're going to sacrifice your Karmic Guide to Ashnod's Altar for 2 mana. That's going to leave you 4 mana floating. You're going to use the 4 mana with Nim Deathmantle to resurrect your Karmic Guide, and that's going to resurrect your Soul Warden. But actually, sees whenever another creature comes into play, so you won't get unlimited life off her. But you know, there's so many different ways you could play that, and it's a really, really cool ability. It's just really nice. It works out really well. I did throw a few sweepers in there just because your general is indestructible, so sweep away. You know, have no fear about just sweeping and sweeping and sweeping because your general is indestructible. But you know, I like the deck. It does have a pretty hefty theme to the Nod of Life Gain. Obviously, it's mono white. Is a pretty fair balance between instant sorcery enchantments and all that, with the hefty part being land as per usual. And the curve isn't really that great. It's actually kind of poor, but you know, this is just a deck I threw together so we could see. But we have a lot of 1, 2, 3 cost cards, so when you get to turn 4, you will be able to start dropping multiple spells, but you also do have a lot of 4 and 5 cost threats, and then you curve pretty well out of turn 5 into your high cost threats being some of the thinner ones. But yeah, that was Heliod God of the Sun, battling with a budget with a life gain theme for Tyler. And this has been Derek with Tap and Turn Gaming. I hope you enjoy the deck tech, and we will see you again for the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks a lot.